welcome to another episode of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. When we left our team of investigators, they were, well, there's no easy way of putting it. They were in rough shape. Dr. Jensen is waterlogged after he vanished in the mist and appeared underwater in the nearby lake, nearly drowning. Julian is covered head to toe in mud, battered and bruised after he climbed atop the predatory brook horse and tried to banish it himself. Somehow, I suspect we haven't seen the last of that creature, though. And Sophie, who's currently accompanied by the terrified priest Father Xavier Duffy, has survived an encounter with a haunted sauna, obtained a steel knife, and unknowingly stumbled across the final remains of her stepfather, Michael Corbett. Aaron, how's Sophie feeling about seeing her two friends again looking like this?
Sophie just stops at the edge of the mist and, she's relieved, but also she just, pinches the bridge of her nose and she's just like, whose idea was this to come here? And then she'll go and meet them. Fucking A. I'll look at Dr. Jensen and then actually Julian too. Do I even want to know what has happened? I assume the same thing has not happened to both of you.
No, but you were absolutely right about the brook horse.
Dear gods, you encountered the brook horse.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? If you get on and yell, Cross of Christ, it goes away.
Wait, back up just for 1 second. If you get on the brook horse.
I was thinking...
For a second, I thought you meant that you got on the brook horse, but clearly
see, what I was thinking is if I just let it walk away, it's going to find... It might have found Olga. It might have found, Ire.
Who the fuck is Olga, Julian?
Who is Olga?
She's one of my biggest fans. Don't worry about it. We're going to find her after this. She's a very nice lady.
Dr. Jensen,
who gave me some interesting reading material.
Do you think that there's something... Has he been mentally touched while he was in the fog?
I don't know.
Julian, why don't you come with me and we'll sit down out here and maybe I've got an apple or something in one of my pockets and you can have a snack and we can talk about it.
I want to make a joke about orange slices being better, but I just kind of, I actually, okay, yeah, I look over at you, Sophie, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. I was talking with Olga, very nice woman, and she gave me something to read. I think you might be interested in it. And I will hold up the journal. I think this is for you. And I just toss it.
I will catch it. It doesn't say right at the beginning, it doesn't have his name in it or something, right? It's just on
the second page, it lists the diary of Michael Corbett.
Okay. So she'll kind of flip past that and then stop and slowly turn the page back and read the name.
I don't know everything that happened, but I think he at least found the cellar.
And very quickly she will flip through until she gets to the last page that's written on, because she wants to know what happened. And she reads it a couple times, and then she will just sort of calmly sit down on the ground and start crying. And I don't think you guys have ever seen her just cry before. You've seen her angry cry, I'm gonna fucking kill these people or whatever. But
to actually see Sophie weeping basically does not happen.
Yeah. And so she'll just hold the book for a few minutes and just cry it out. And Yortz, who is just starting to dry out, is trying to comfort her or whatever. And then she will reach into her jacket pocket, which is not where most of her books are, and she will get out her mom's journal and put them together and just hold them there for a second. And then she'll just stand up and put them away and dry her face off and clear her throat. All right, so we have a plan of action. You said he found the cellar? let's go check it out.
Yeah, after seeing the impact that had, I don't know that I was actually expecting that at all, but give you the space until you do kind of come up and address us. And yeah, no, he said it was a metal door in one of the puddles. Let's go see if we can find it. Lean over to Dr. Jensen. Damn it, I think I'm getting some of your bedside manner.
He'll just kind of...
No one out Dr. Jensen's Dr. Jensen. The four of you head over, and based on Michael's writing, you're able to figure out which window he jumped out of, kind of based on where the kitchen is. And you pull some of the weeds and lily pads and pond scum off of this little puddle. And sure enough, flush with the ground is a cellar door. However, it is locked with a chain and a padlock.
Oh, Julian, we also found something, and she will pull the knife. She's had just stuck the knife like kind of in her belt, in a belt loop or something, and she will pull that out, and she'll hold it out to the two of them. I don't know who would maybe who would best make use of this, because it's probably not me.
Lucius will turn to the swole Julian. Do you want to take the knife, or?
I can take the knife. Is Father Xavier with us?
Mm-hmm.
I'll look back to Sophie, and as I'm taking the knife, has the good father, and I just kind of motion towards the knife.
Oh, good point, of course. Yes, he would need to bless it.
He looks back and forth between the three of you. What's going on now?
This might be a bit of a strange request, Father. You know what? You've already seen things are weird, right? It would be very helpful if you could, just lay a simple blessing upon this blade.
Sure, I can definitely do that.
I appreciate that.
Will that help us get out of here?
It actually might.
Well, then fucking give me the knife, son.
I fucking give him the knife, Dad.
I love this guy.
He says the Lord's Prayer over it and hands it back to you.
Well, that's one less thing to worry about, I suppose.
So, you've got a locked door in front of you. What are y'all going to try and do?
And I'm sorry, Brian, quick question. Just reading through the description about the neck.
Mm-hmm.
So it mentions that the steel knife to block Nocken's magic, it must have first been used to cut the strings of a fiddle. And then it mentions it can only truly be banished if the knife was blessed by a Christian priest. So do I need to cut the strings of like my fiddle first? Or it specifically is talking about...
Yeah.
There's a couple of things there. If the knife has been blessed by a priest,
mm-hmm.
and it is used to cut the strings of his musical instrument, the neck will be banished for a year and a day.
Okay.
If you cut the strings of any musical, probably specifically a fiddle, and then throw the knife in the ground, the neck cannot affect you with its magic.
Ah, okay. So then, rewinding slightly. So once I take the knife back from Father Xavier, I will go ahead and pull out my fiddle. I'll look to the three of us. There's only one fiddle. Who does it make the most sense to, I guess, inoculate?
Will it just give an aura if we throw the knife down?
So basically,
That can't be affected?
Yeah, as long as the knife is in the ground, the neck can't use its magic against you.
I see.
Against all of us, though?
Yeah,
or against
all of you.
Okay.
But
it's like anti-magic aura
Mm-hmm.
or something.
Would we then know if the neck is able to remove the knife from the ground?
It could try. The stories don't mention him attempting to do so, but...
Okay. More just out of like, do we just do it anywhere, or do we have to do it somewhere where we have to like hide it where the neck might not find?
Right.
You think it's got to be in his presence from the way the stories that Sophie remembered were told.
Okay.
Sort of like holding a crucifix up to a vampire. It's got to be something he can see. It's like it's the actual act of throwing it into the ground in front of him that will protect you.
Okay, so given that, we might want to then hold off before cutting your strings there, Julian.
Well, he could still do it, and then we would have it if we needed it for that purpose, and it could also be used to cut the other strings because it has been blessed.
Yeah.
And Phoenix, just for your reference, you don't have to cut all the fiddle strings. Cutting a single one will do it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I will go ahead and just, as you two are kind of trying to decide among that, I'll just pull it out and it's fine. It was due for a restring anyway, and I will go ahead and cut one of the strings with the knife.
And it makes just a very slight ding as it's cut.
And if we, like, say for instance, I'm sure I'm overthinking this, that neck shows up, we're like, oh crap, there's the neck, throw the knife in the ground, and then we have an opportunity at the same time to grab his instrument and cut it. Would we be able to pick up the knife that we had thrown down and use it at that time to cut the strings, or is it like an either or situation?
The same knife could work just fine.
Okay.
It would probably be like a fast action to pick it up out of the ground and a slow action to cut the strings.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, so you are now armed with a blessed knife and are confronted by a locked cellar door. What are y'all going to do?
Shoot it.
It's an option.
Before you do that, Sophie, didn't you also find the missing mosaic piece?
I did, and it has Ouroboros on it. Now, the thing that was missing... Okay, so it's either the woman in leaves or the sea monster that goes with the Ouroboros. Because the grumpy man in the hat was the nail, and the knife would have been the neck and the violin. And then we had a sea monster and woman in leaves. And on the other door, we had the missing part and fire. Sea monster feels like Ouroboros.
Now, keep in mind, they are dials, too. So if you think you've got two of them and you rotate those, it should line up correctly.
So I don't even need to do all this. Okay, cool. Overthinking it, per usual.
But more to the point, do we want to go and explore that to see if we can find the key for the cellar, maybe?
Oh, that's smart.
Or you can shoot the lock. I don't want to stop you if that's what you prefer to do.
All options are available.
I mean, we're already here. Should we just shoot the lock? I've been going a little trigger happy.
We could try shooting the lock. I mean, what's going to happen? Ire will come out and try to feed us some arsenic. It's fine.
Speaking of which, Sophie, you had a chance to read that journal. Brian, remind me, what year is it right now?
It is 1888.
So
in October.
We got 30 years of Ire saying the master is on his way back. I mean, he's not... I think we knew something was up with him, but I think we've clearly... I don't know if he's a Vossen or what, but...
Or just a thrall of some sort, a servant. I don't think he's... I think perhaps, given what we know about the experiments that were going on here, maybe Ire is meant to sort of lure targets for the neck that they are keeping captive here. Is that possible? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out in the cellar.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm going to go ahead and shoot the lock.
Okay. Now, Brian the Game Master interjecting briefly. The cellar is where kind of shit's gonna go down. And we will rapidly get to the resolution of the mystery.
Oh,
Is this a hint that we should go check out the library first?
that sounds like a breadcrumb that we should follow up the stairs.
It is not necessarily an absolute, but I will say, like one of those messages that says, make sure to wrap up any business before proceeding.
You will not be able to complete certain quests after this point.
So, guys, we should take a long rest here.
Just right on the ground.
Rewind noises. Yes, actually, Dr. Jensen, that's a great idea. We should go and take this mosaic piece up the stairs and try to get into that library. I definitely... The key may be there among many other useful things, so...
Now, I will also add one other detail that you all happen to notice. As you're kind of poking around a little bit, you notice the lights that are on in the home are all turned a little bit lower. Everything in the farmhouse looks a little more dim.
So it's roughly the same amount of light outside, it's just the lights are dimmer inside, or...
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Now, keep in mind, you haven't really seen a change in the amount of light outside at all in the time that you've been here.
Huh.
Maybe the quicker we do this, the better. I'm sure Ire's baking bread in there.
If we do go in to take the mosaic piece and try to open that door, do we perhaps want to try to subdue Ire in some way, lock him somewhere so that he can't work any mischief? Because we know that there's something not right about him, and he's either a tool for something nefarious or is nefarious himself. I don't know which.
Think you could knock him out with those knuckle dusters I know you keep on you, Dr. J?
Oh, I have no doubt. I just, well, feel somewhat guilty of pummeling an old man. But if we need to do that, we need to do whatever we need to get lift whatever magic or curse is on this place. So,
Or do we just want to go and unlock the door and see what happens and deal with Ire as needed?
That's fine too. He doesn't, even in the journal, he doesn't seem to have posed a direct threat. It was merely misinformation and manipulation. So, since we're aware of it, we should be able to avoid it.
Well, if worse comes to worse, myself or Julian can probably stand at the door and keep him outside occupied, while you and the other kind of search inside the room for whatever we might need.
I nod along with that.
I'm not too worried about an old man, unless he happens to have a gun.
All right, so are you all heading into the farmhouse?
Yep.
Pitter patter, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, all of the kerosene lamps that are hanging in that main entryway have all been dim. And everything in the house is very silent right now.
Can I try to turn them up?
Yeah, it works just fine.
I will turn up every single lamp.
They're all quite bright now.
I don't like it.
Ooh, Dad's gonna be mad at you messing with the thermostat.
While Sophie's turning up the lamps, I'm gonna walk to the end of the hall, kind of the doorway, and just stand there and see if I can hear if there's anyone moving about the house. Maybe Ire's upstairs working on his attempts at taxidermy.
It is completely silent.
That's not ominous.
Yeah, this doesn't feel right. I feel like Ire probably sticks very close to the farmhouse. I don't know. I'm not necessarily inclined to say we should go looking for him. I actually feel like we need to get in and get out. Probably would be the better solution here.
Then let's just go.
Okay.
Right. Four of you, counting Father Xavier, head up the stairs. Can I get a vigilance test from everybody?
Oh, man.
I'll have one die to roll on that.
2 + 5 - 1, so I'm at 6.
Surprise, surprise. Out of 5 dice, 1 success.
That is 0 success on one die, and as amusing as it would be to push that roll and break myself, I will decline.
I'm still waiting.
That is 2 successes on 6 dice.
Oh.
Okay. So Julian is feeling rattled, feeling a little bit windburnt, and a little bit just boggled from his time riding on the back of the Brook Horse. So he isn't able to quite pick up on the subtle noises that everyone else can. But there is a very soft snoring coming from that other room on the top of the hallway. The one that you guys didn't go in.
Great, we don't have to knock him out. He's already knocked out. Fantastic. Onward.
Hello, dear listener. It's your host and game master, Brian. Before we reveal what's waiting beyond the library doors, I wanted to jump in and build up that anticipation. You know what else builds up anticipation? Slow burn romances. Speaking of, I have it on good authority that some of the characters in an actual play series I've been binging are finally getting together. I'm sure if you've been listening to Tales of Three by Rainbow Dice Club, you know what I'm talking about. And if not, let me play their trailer so you can get as hyped as I am.
Are you looking for your next adventure to get lost in? Do you enjoy dark fantasy, horror, slice of life? Are your favorite tropes filled with tragic backstories and a found family comprised of a snarky lesbian, a morally gray grump, and a sunshine character? Then look no further. Tune in to Tales of Three and follow the adventures of 3 unlucky strangers whose fates collide when they accidentally stumble upon a plot to destroy the world as they know it. Throw in some forbidden magic, a slow burn romance, hidden identities, and some devastatingly beautiful baddies who will stop at nothing to keep our trio apart. Mix it all up, and we've got your next obsession. Tales of Three, a Rainbow Dice Club production, is an all-queer, Dungeons & Dragons-based podcast that airs on Fridays. Find us at Rainbow Dice Club on most socials and at Tales of Three wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. Aaron, does Sophie put the mosaic piece into the door?
Yes. In exactly the right place.
And as soon as it kind of slots in, you're able to rotate the dial on the right-hand door. You line the pieces up based on what you know about the nail going with the grumpy-looking man and the knife going with the violin, and it makes a very gentle click. Do you push the doors open?
I really want to check for traps, and I don't know how to do that in this game. Is that a thing? Can I?
I mean, you could roll vigilance if you think there's a trap, but I generally would ask you to make a roll if there was.
All right. Okay, yeah.
It's probably fine. The traps are psychological.
Right. Okay, yeah, good point. Then yeah, I will push open the door.
Okay. Important question. Does Sophie push it open with both hands like Aragorn from Two Towers?
Yes.
I mean, in fairness, that's the only way to open
Double doors.
a double door.
You have to do
Yep.
it like that. Exactly.
The room beyond the massive doors is lit by a single kerosene lamp. It sheds light from the large reading table at the center of the room. Shelves of books line 2 long walls, their titles lost in the shadows from the flickering lamp. the ceiling has split in several places, letting water trickle and drip into this room, slowly seeping into the carpeted floors and turning them into a swamp of molds. Standing next to the reading table is an older woman, dressed in a pale cream-colored dress. Her gray blonde hair is tied up in a bun, and her face immediately reminds you of Sophie. She smiles softly at Sophie and sets a book down onto the table. I have missed you, Shara-in. Just remember, det är over I musen. The kerosene lamp suddenly snuffs out, plunging the room into darkness. What do you do?
What?
Who the hell was that?
Your lamp also snuffed out, Sophie.
Mama?
There's no answer.
I will try to get the lantern from Sophie and see if I can reignite it.
Once you get it lit again, she's nowhere there. Where she was standing is a pool of frothy water and lake weeds. Can I get a fear test from everybody?
Oh boy.
Now, Phoenix, I have some good news. You do get a +2 from having 2 allies close at hand.
Okay, so empathy -3 +2. All right.
So I got 1 success out of 7 dice.
You're good?
I got 1 success on 5 dice.
You're good.
I'm not.
Oh no.
All right. Phoenix.
Brian, you've been looking forward to this for so long. I am here to
so
help.
long. I always appreciate you, but I especially appreciate you when I get to break you mentally. That sounded weird, and I don't regret it.
Okay, Drago, do what you got to do.
I must break him. So, Phoenix,
Brian,
can I get a D66 from you?
23.
Oh, delightful.
Oh no! It's been so nice playing with you, Phoenix. I can't wait to see your new character.
Man, you
Julian? No, this is going to be good. I, for one, am excited about this, and I think Phoenix might be too. Julian has gained the whitened hair injury.
Oh!
So Julian has become so afraid in this moment that his hair is going to go stark white.
Dope.
like all of it, or just like one area of hair?
We'll talk about that later.
Ah,
That's dope as hell. I say having white in my hair, but
Brian, I know we have videos, but I can totally hear your smile when you when you heard the number.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like Julian will be able to pull that off just fine.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to be cute, sexy, and distinguished.
Silver fox.
Right?
Yep. Like, my God, now he's a silver fox somehow. And still young-aged.
He's only 23. What the fuck?
It's like a Filipino Anderson Cooper.
Go on. Now, what might be a bigger problem for you in the moment, though, is Julian is also terrified. Phoenix, given that you are both terrified and broken will kind of supersede that. So Julian just kind of leans against the door and sort of slumps down.
So I can't fight my party?
No, you cannot fight your party because you're broken.
Oh, nuts.
Lucky for you.
But Julian becomes non-responsive with all of the trauma that he has suffered.
That's fair.
Oh shit.
Lucius
will immediately, if Julian's kind of slumped over, and assuming we now have at least some light with the lantern to see around.
Mm-hmm.
Sophie, help! I need some light. Help me get him. Find a chair or something in here. I'll try and drag Julian to his feet.
Sophie will absently just kind of like take, because I assume that Julian probably dropped the lantern.
He held onto it as he kind of slumped down to the ground, so it's just on the ground with him.
So she'll like pick up the lantern and just kind of hold it out with one hand, but she's looking around at the room. She's trying to catch her breath, and she's remembering what. I suck at fucking names. What is her name? Mira. Thank you.
Matthias.
Matthias. She's remembering what Matthias
was it
told
Roger?
Her. She's thinking about what Mila said at the Halloween party and don't trust what you see. And so she's just like going over and over in her head. And she's like, that isn't what would happen if she was really here. That was just a trick. It was just mind games again. And we've been through that so many times. And after probably like 15, 20 seconds, she'll kind of turn around and look and realize that Julian is practically incapacitated, and she'll kind of snap out of it and go grab a chair and help Dr. Jensen. But she is kind of like more focused on looking around the room and, yeah.
And you are all able to shut the two large doors to make sure that you're not going to wake Ira Matson. Julian is presently out for the count. You think with enough rest he would recover on his own, but if anyone would like to, they can make an inspiration test to try and help him.
Oh boy, we got the two best people for that. Actually, I do have some empathy, don't I?
You have more than Dr. Jensen.
I'll give it a shot. I mean, I have 3 dice. 4 if I get help from Dr. J.
And this might be something worth spending an advantage on, too.
Yeah.
As this is overcoming a critical injury.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that. And so that gives me what? Just gives me 1 more dice, or?
If you use your advantage, it gives you plus 2 dice.
Okay. So yeah, I will kneel down next to Julian, and I'll take his hand and just like pat his hand, and I'll tell Dr. Jensen to get what liquor do you have in your violin case? What do you carry with you, Phoenix?
It's already gone.
Oh, that's right, because you drank it with Olga. Okay.
Yep.
So,
Dr. Jensen puts his bag on the floor, opens it up, and hands Sophie a bottle of scotch. A nice.
Okay, just hold on to this for just a moment. Let's not quite go that far. Julian, it's not real. They're just playing the mind games with us that they use every time. You remember before when you saw your father and I saw my former employer. It's not real. Everything's going to be fine, okay?
You just hear me babbling something about Rose.
No. I will stop talking while I'm clacking my dice, and I will do them separately. Okay. That is 1 success on 6 dice.
All right, that will be enough to overcome the broken condition.
Okay.
If you'd like to push this roll, every additional success will clear one of Julian's mental conditions. Up to you.
I mean, I already have 1 physical and 1 mental condition, and we still have the denouement to get through.
Like I said, up to you.
All right, I'll do it. That is 2 more successes on... Oh, did I roll too many dice? I did roll too many dice. Shit. All right, I just got to roll again.
You just take out one of the ones that missed.
Oh, yay. Thanks, Brian. You're the best.
You say that now, and then you're like, this motherfucker.
The dichotomy of DMs.
The dichotomy, if you will.
Okay, so that was 3 total successes.
All right, Julian, you may clear broken and 2 conditions. 2 mental conditions.
And now I am I think I'm frightened because...
Everything.
Well, no. Sophie is frightened because of her... She's realized that with this specific situation is getting to her, and it's like starting to bypass and like erode her logic and her... She considers herself to be like really practical and steadfast, and she doesn't get really emotional about things, and this is really starting to upset her and cause her like emotional turmoil, and she does not like it.
Mm-hmm.
Lucius kind of seeing Julian, relieved that I think Julian's kind of with us now, but just all the more exhausted and frightened from one, seeing apparently a ghost, but two, trying to recover our friend here. Lucius will pick up the bottle. He will pull out his flask. He will fill it up, take a swig from the bottle, and then take the flask and hand it around. We all need a drink. This is like, no, look, this is, I've seen issues similar back in the field of battle. Men get spooked, men get frightened, and they start to panic and lose control. I know we're in the shit, but we need to get focused and get the hell out of here. We need to find a key to that cellar, and we need to focus on the task at hand. Julian, are you with us? And he kind of extends the flask out.
I take it kind of absentmindedly from you, but my eyes are kind of a little out of focus, looking towards Sophie. And yeah, as I kind of come back to myself a little bit, I'm kind of rocking back and forth, and I am just... There are tears coming down my face, and you just hear me muttering kind of just over and over, I didn't mean to, Rose. I didn't mean to.
So, seeing this in a very uncharacteristic manner, Lucius will put one hand and just kind of put it on Julian's shoulder, just kind of grasp him like, you can do this. You're here. You're with us. We will get through this. In his very best effort to try and sound sympathetic like Julian does when he tries to boost people's spirits. Which sounds very kind of robotic and clanky coming out of Lucius.
There's things Phoenix wants to say here that Julian won't in this moment, but yeah, after a little bit, probably 15-30 seconds go by, and kind of come back to myself a little further, I kind of notice that I've got the flask in my hand. I will take a pull and hand it back to you. Thank you, Dr. Jensen. Thank you, Sophie.
I'll hand it to Sophie.
I think Sophie, she'll take a drink, and then she'll start to drink again, and then she'll just hand it back to you and just kind of shake her head and try to, gather herself.
Dr. Jensen won't do the whole hand on the shoulder thing, but he'll kind of just try and look Sophie in the eyes. You got this. You're with us. We need you. And you know more about any of this than we do.
I'm here, Dr. Jensen. I'm here.
And then Dr. Jensen will hand the flask to the father, because I'm sure he wants a drink too.
I forgot he was there, so let me make a fear test for him.
Poor guy.
I was just kind of ignoring him for the moment.
Oh, come on!
And that's 0 successes on 7 dice, so let me just push that roll.
Oh my lord.
1 success on 7 more dice.
Bah!
Ah.
Blah.
So he will gain a mental condition, but he manages to hold himself together. Takes a quick pull, crosses himself. Jesus is with us.
Fucking Jesus.
And in an effort to try to just reassert and just get back to myself here. As the father finishes his drink, I'll take the flask back, and with all of the young man cockiness that he can muster at this point, covered in mud and momentarily broken a moment ago, I'm just gonna like take the flask and kind of tap it against Dr. Jensen's lapel. Don't make me take this away from you again.
With that, it'll be a quick-ish, but more kind of a playful kind of snatch out of your hand. You're welcome to try, young blood, as you'll put it away.
All right, everyone having a little bit of a laugh, feeling a little bit better. You look around this room, and there are tons and tons and tons of books on the walls. Most of them look like they've suffered some kind of water damage, though. You take a look on that reading table. The book that Ingo was holding a moment ago is still there. The title of it is Spirits of the Northern Seas. However, when you open it up, it is completely waterlogged and damaged beyond reading.
Sophie is just like, she went obviously to that book first, and you could just hear her muttering, "Tragic, tragic." She like goes to look around at all the books and try to find, anything any like journals or letters or anything that looks like it could be salvageable that we might get any information from. Is there a desk with any kind of like doohickeys on it? Like devices?
Not a desk with doohickeys, but give me an investigation test. If you'd like, you can take a +3 bonus from your allies helping you.
Yeehaw!
I say, I think you have the focused trait, don't you?
I do. Oh, I do. Yay! Investigation reveals Vossen is my other thing.
Your Sixth Sense talent?
Yeah. So that means that's 5 + 5 + 3. Well, that's 2 that are cocked. Okay, so far we are at 4 successes, and I have rolled 10 dice.
Ooh.
Yeah, Sophie, you somehow have usurped the magic of my dice.
Okay, so that's 4 total. I know, 4 total out of 13 dice.
I mean, in fairness, Phoenix, it is her adventure, so Sophie gets to have it for this one.
That's true. Maybe, were you rolling like super duper good during your mystery?
The Phoenix backstory mystery was where the magic dice came in. So, Bill, I'm looking forward to your future.
I'm going to push every roll.
We'll see.
Now, Aaron, you needed 2 successes to find the information. You can use your Sixth Sense talent to spend additional successes to learn if a Vossen has been in the area, to gain a more or less vague impression of what kind of Vossen it is, or to find out if magic has been used.
I will definitely try to find out if magic has been used. I think we already know what Vossen it is, and that a Vossen has been in the area, but I guess, yeah, if I'm not taking away from anything else, then yeah, I will see if magic has been used and see if the Vossen is in the area. Or is it just historical or like right now?
It'd be kind of like within the recent past.
Okay.
So you get the sense from your Sixth Sense that magic is all around, but was particularly concentrated where your mother had appeared. And you do detect the presence of one Vossen that was near where she was. You also, thanks to your allies and your keen skills at investigation, find something else of interest in this room. It takes a little searching, but you manage to locate where Spirits of the Northern Seas would go on the shelves.
Ho-ho!
And next to it is a book of interest to you. It is called Sangar of Foskrin, and that one is in good shape. Do you open it up?
Yes, I do.
Marvelous. Tucked inside the front cover is a small key.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting text inside as well.
Ho ho.
Aaron, this is written in a Norwegian dialect used in the Stavanger Amt region, previously called Rogaland. But Sophie is able to translate it well enough. Would you be willing to read us this?
I will. And the neck did laugh and played a mocking chord upon his fiddle. He did say, and woe to the father of monsters, the bound god and blood brother to Wotan, that he did conspire, and so pays for his crimes past and future. He wrought what he did most assured deserve, and I care not who hear me say such. His words did reach the ears of the wolf-sire's lover, Angerboda, and she did lay upon the neck a terrible and shameful fate. Angerboda was cunning, and she, like her love, a master of disguise. So she did appear as a human skald, and sang in each and every town, along each and every waterway, that the neck's favored shape was that of the lowly Brockhest. An outrage to the Vasen, but the people believed her lies and repeated her songs until it became like the truth, save to those who knew. The waters raged and the necks sulked and scowled, but the dam now made could not break, and the people believed Angerboda's stories. The connection made would grow stalwart strong, and like the iron rope Gleipnir, would only grow tighter the more the neck struggled to split himself from the tail. If you should meet the musician upon a lakeshore, mention it not, or else you would be afflicted by his terrible spite. Listen well, child, and remember, before you speak imprudently, consider who might hear your words that you do not intend, else you may find yourself beset by rumor and slander, which clings to you as lake weeds upon the neck and the other spawn of the giants. So I didn't read that as I was reading it, so now I have to read it again.
And that does decisively confirm the neck and the brook horse are different Vasen.
So she lied and said it was like the Brockhest, and that's what my books say, because that's what the rumor was, but really the neck is totally different.
Yep. All of the sort of myth and legends that you are familiar with connect the Bekkaheste with the neck and say like the brook horse and the neck are basically the same creature. Just like Sophie thought when she first heard about that report of a horseshoe next to the lakeside.
So there's definitely at least two Vasen in this vicinity. See, the thing that's like worrying me, or not worrying me, but I'm trying to process it, is that she appeared as a human skald and she was a master of disguise. And I'm like, well, we've heard someone singing and we've seen somebody at least twice, and my stepdad saw somebody, and there was somebody looking at us from the lake, which, well, we don't know that, but...
And you saw your mother in this room.
Right, that's what I mean. We saw, I saw somebody go into the sauna, and I saw someone here. We all saw someone here. But Angerboda couldn't be a type of Vasen, because that's like... she's like one of the gods, essentially.
We will have you make a learning test about that at a later time.
Okay.
But you do have the key for the cellar. Do you want to go investigate? I want you to.
I I do. I'm just, Aaron is like stuck on this other part. Was this a book that it's an excerpt, but can she take the whole book?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
This is the kind of thing that might be great to have in your occult library.
Oh, we get a point for this, huh?
Maybe.
Like an XP or something.
A development point for your headquarters.
Nice.
Wait. Did we say the magic words before you removed it?
You must not read from the book.
Klaatu Rada Achu.
Yeah, that works.
All right, we're covered.
It's weird. Sophie had a designated pocket for it before we even knew it was there.
I always have a designated pocket for any. I actually keep 3 pockets open at all times in case of books
from occult text you might find on the way.
Right, of course. I mean, that only makes sense.
Very on brand.
So yes, let's go and try to open up the cellar, and perhaps there we will find what we need to end this.
All right, you make your way quietly through the house as the snoring continues, lightly coming from that other room. The 4 of you kind of sneak your way down the stairs. Outside. And use that small key to open the lock, which clicks with a satisfying thud. You're able to pull aside the chains, and it takes the 3 of you actually working together to pull these heavy doors open. The still waters that covered them go pouring down the stairs below. You slowly creep down these wet stairs and see old, unlit lanterns hanging from the walls. In the darkness beyond, you can just barely see the shape of chalkboards, shelves lined with strange glass jars, assembled human bones, and other trinkets. At the very edge of your vision hangs a gleaming, white porcelain mask from a peg in the wall.
Can I ask one quick thing before we go too far down the cellar doors?
Mm-hmm.
These are presumably, like, I'm presuming kind of like Midwest flat doors you kind of pull out and open?
Absolutely.
Are there handles on both sides of the door?
Mm-hmm.
Before Dr. Jensen goes in, he's actually going to take the chain and the lock and weave it on the door from the outside, between the outside and the inside handle, basically so the door can't be slammed shut.
Oh, nice.
And then slam the lock on the chain to keep it there.
Perfect.
Nice.
And we'll look to Sophie. Hold on to that key. Just in case.
Smirt.
She has a pocket for that.
I hadn't even thought about locking you in here.
All it takes is one sauna, Brian.
Fair enough. Alright, so now confident that you can't be locked in here just yet, the 4 of you slowly make your way down into this room, the lanterns giving you enough light to see by. Unlike everything else that you've seen so far, there's no sign of mold or decay on everything in here. In fact, other than the little bit of water that's run down the stairs, everything in here is completely bone dry. Aaron, you had a question?
I was just going to ask, I didn't see that I wrote anything down about it, but have we gotten any information about a mask, any mention of the mask in any of the correspondence we read or anything? Okay.
None.
Speaking of which, would that be something that, so also focusing on the mask, does it look like something I'd recognize from like a Venetian type masquerade ball? Does it seem like, give me a vibe check here. What's the vibe of the mask?
How evil is the mask?
Also, one other quick note, Aaron, you did have a reference to a mask. In the letter from Baldwin Farm, there was a reference to, we can suborn even the greatest of them to our will with rune, rod, and mask.
Aha. Okay.
Phoenix, Julian takes a look at this, and this doesn't seem like any kind of mask he's seen. The front of it is featureless. There are 2 holes for eyes. There is not a hole for a nose. There is not a hole for a mouth. There is a slight crease that runs down the center, and then the 2 sides are very smooth, extending around the face about towards where the ears would be. As the 3 of you walk through this room, there are chalkboards with notes scribbled across them. There are shelves and shelves with all kinds of strange things and glasses. Dr. Jensen, you spot something quite odd.
Uh-oh.
There are sets of human bones that have been assembled, kind of like a standing anatomical skeleton. There's one of a human and one of a horse. However, you are very versed in medicine, and so you quickly spot there are bones that are intermixed. Human bones fitted into the horse skeleton. Horse bones fitted into the human skeleton in small, subtle ways that aren't immediately obvious.
What is this, the cellar of Dr. Moreau?
Does it look like these are things that can be, like, I can take a bone from one model and put it on the other kind of thing, or it would kind of cause the...
They're all held in with wires to hold the shape.
Okay, so it's more like someone kind of almost slightly akin to the taxidermy thing, like above.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was just being creative with dead things.
And yet, this one feels like it has more intention behind it. The choice of selection makes it so that the bones that have been swapped between them, the average person wouldn't notice. Sophie or Julian wouldn't pick up on this. Only with your medical background are you like, that finger bone, what?
Is there a rhyme or reason to it, or is it just kind of like various different bones are swapped between the 2?
It just seems like various different ones that could fit in different places.
Huh.
Sophie, you happen to look at the chalkboard, and you spot a couple of interesting things. There's all sorts of strange formula and scribbles that don't seem to make any sense, but look like they refer to alchemy. Someone has written in one of the corners, in order to contain a greater spirit, a sacrifice is needed. There must be a connection between the magus and the vessel. There are several half-complete runes. And, in another corner, someone has written in a large hand, taming the horse will be the simplest way. Phoenix, were you going to check out that mask?
Yeah, I mean, once I've recognized this doesn't look like what I have seen at, maybe some of the parties where we've got like a masquerade theme going.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I'd spend too much more time with it.
Okay.
Unless I were to pick it up and try it on.
That's up to you.
Maybe later. I'll tell you what, I will go ahead and pick it up and just see if there's anything like on the... I'm not putting
reverse
it on,
side. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, see if there's anything on the reverse side.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like that.
I am so glad you did that.
Oh,
It suctions onto your face.
Yeah.
No. Not yet. 2 things happen when you do that. You lift the mask off the wall and flip it around.
Cross of
and
Christ! Cross of Christ!
The back is covered in runes. They look like the same ones that Sophie had pointed out on the beams of that house.
What?
I almost want to end it on that.
It really should be.
But unfortunately, I can't end it there because I said there were 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate cliffhanger. One is this, and
The second thing that happens is there is a growling sound coming from one of Sophie's pockets. And a furry orange head is popping out and growling unhappily at that mask.
Oh, buddy.
Sophie, you can't recall the last time you heard Yortz actually growl at something.
Yeah, he doesn't growl. Even his Boston detection, spotty Boston detection, is just sneezing.
Sneezing based.
I will hold up the mask inside, pointing towards her. These mean anything to you?
They are definitely the same runes that cover your arm.
Wait a goddamn minute, okay? What?
Does Sophie touch the mask?
I mean, of course she does.
Excellent.
I mean, I handed it out straight to you, so yeah.
As you take that, your whole body starts to tingle.
Oh, it's that kind of mask.
And you feel an overwhelming desire to destroy this. What do you do?
Not what I was expecting.
Yeah, no. Okay. What am I gonna do?
What's Sophie gonna do?
I mean, logic tells me if I'm getting a feeling from a paranormal object, I might want to think about it, like ignore it at first and think about it, because there could be like some kind of a curse on it or something. But also, she is frightened and angry.
And Yortz is growling at this mask.
Yortz is growling.
As Julian hands it to you, his attention is laser focused on this thing. He is like snarling at it. As much as his dumb orange brain can snarl.
I recognize the runes, obviously. Can you remind me what the troll, because it'll take me too long to...
Gutgrinder referred to the runes that are on your person as runes of becoming.
Runes of becoming, okay. So maybe these were meant to make the person wearing it become something else. Or vice versa, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking throw it on the ground and take my revolver out and shoot it.
You don't even need to shoot it. It's porcelain.
Oh, it's
okay.
As
soon as you throw it on the ground, it shatters. And just this sense of relief washes over you as this thing shatters into a million pieces on the ground.
And Madame Lou would have really liked that.
And that's when all of you hear a scream coming from the lake. And it sounds somewhere in between a human and a horse.
Oh, that can't be good.
But we'll find out more about that next time.
Oh my god.
Dun dun dun.
Oh no.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Spirits and Monsters of Old Seattle. Our theme song is Myths and Legends by Robert Bruckmeyer, which is playing right now. Our music is by Andreas Lundström, and you can hear more of his work on the Sweden Rolls podcast. Link in the show notes. Our editor is Hannah Cheney. If you're enjoying this show, please take 2 minutes to rate and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. I know every podcast says it, but it really does make a difference and helps us continue to grow the show. Finally, remember the motto of the library. Fear gives way to knowledge. Knowledge gives way to wisdom. And wisdom gives way to the truth. Until next time.